how did Laughing Vikings get started?
Great question. All right, so let's we're taking it back to 2017. For those that don't know, I'm an actor and stand-up comic for the last 10, now I guess, what is it, 12 years now. But I had all the gear and all the equipment for my own productions, my own auditions, my own web videos, my own green screen videos, voiceovers, green screen stuff, social media videos. And I kind of early on in my career saw that as a necessity to have my own home studio. And in 2017, I had been living out of Toronto and was moving back into Toronto. And as you know, the cost of real estate is pretty pricey here. I didn't want to have roommates. I didn't want to live in a basement apartment. And the nature of gig work and freelance work as an actor and as a stand-up comic, I don't really have a reliable income. So it was really out of necessity. I had the idea of, what if I rented a work-live commercial space where I could have all my studio equipment set up, and then also either rent that space out to other people and other productions, or provide services there where people could come and I would help them with their video and with their audio and visual productions. So it was really necessity when it all happened. It was just me trying to figure out how to afford to live alone in the city as an artist with an unpredictable income. And I've also been someone, I've never had a Joe job throughout all of this. I've just been really focused on just being fully immersed in the business. So whatever that is, and having your own studio and your own production company really allows you to do that. So that if I'm not on set or I don't have my own gigs, I'm still producing things and running things here out of the studio. So that was 2017, and it started just with friends and people in my network, friends and colleagues that needed help with their self tapes or their podcast. Early on, Trevor Ketchison, who's an actor that also was running sessions pre-COVID here, he was very involved early on, sort of with helping me get things started. And the full story is that before I opened Laughing Vikings, I had a week where I had back to back auditions, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I didn't live in the city at the time, and I didn't want to commute back and forth. So I asked Trevor, who lives right at Queen and Broadview, if I could crash at his place. I hadn't hung out with him in a while, so he was gracious enough to let me stay at his place. And I crashed at his place, and this is the neighborhood where pre-COVID, all the casting houses are within 10, 15 minutes of this neighborhood. So I would just literally walk to my auditions, and then having him there, he's also an actor, before his auditions or before mine, we'd be running each other's lines and helping each other with ours, and then one of us would leave and go do our audition. So that sort of got the wheels turning where, well, like, wow, this is the neighborhood for all this stuff. This is the studio district. And then in working with him, I started to realize how advantageous it is to have an actual actor to work with before and after your auditions, and actually have a live human being who knows the craft and knows the business to work with you. So it was really in that week in working with him is where the light bulbs went off. Was like, oh shit, this is the neighborhood I need to be in. This is the kind of vibe, actors for actors by actors, sort of a community clubhouse feel. And then it's just, since 2017, it's grown and grown and grown. We've provided actor services for self-tapes and auditions, produced podcasts, produced live stand-up shows, produced commercials and web videos and voiceovers. So now we just passed 4 years here.
Congratulations. That's amazing, Lars.
Yeah, we've been doing all right.
Yeah. Like,
And
even just any business surviving 4 years, like the first year is always super hard. And then the fact that you've kept it going, like you've kept trying to upgrade, you kept trying to like make sure that you're doing everything you can for the actors so that they don't have to stress, so that they don't have to worry about what the external stuff is for an audition. They just have to focus on the audition.
Right. Yeah, and I should say to anyone watching, I worked for a corporation, but obviously that's a corporation. It's like, it wasn't like I built that business or had to do any of that stuff. I have zero business training. I have zero business background, never ran a business before. So it was literally like, I remember when I first started and had the ideas, it was like, okay, I need to find a studio, live studio space with enough room. I got the equipment. I got to register a business. I got to open a business bank account. I got to start a website. I got to buy the website. I got to open all the social media accounts. I got to hook up the payment processors. So I literally learned all that stuff by scratch. Like that's like one by one, watching YouTube videos and watching FAQ videos and reading in the help sections of all these things. And
Hmm.
and the fun thing about that, there's two times in my life related to show business where I feel I've shoved all of my chips in. One was when I made the transition from financial services to stand up full time, where I basically left a corporate job pretty much cold turkey and was like, this is my life now. And the other was 2017, starting Laughing Vikings. I literally took, it was all the money I had. I had first month, last month, the deposit, and then maybe I had a little bit left over for like odds and ends or some furniture and stuff.
Hmm.
But there's, if you were to, if you were to look at the studio in 2017 compared to now, we have way more equipment, we have way more furniture. It was very, very, very bare bones. It was almost an empty space before. But I felt really proud that like that was like, it was literally all my chips. I want to go all in, because part of my thinking was I can afford to have an apartment, or I can afford to have a studio space, but
Hmm.
I knew I couldn't afford to have both. So I couldn't have a condo and rent a studio space and be running back and forth. And
Yeah.
so I sort of sacrificed some of the amenities and some of the niceties of a nice swanky apartment for having a work live studio space. But I knew that having the studio space for me in the business would be a means to an end. If I have this first, I can grow the production company, I can grow my own career to the point where then it's providing me the income and the money to then buy a sick condo or buy a nice house somewhere. So it was a little bit for me like make some sacrifices on the personal side of things, but then just fully immerse yourself. And it's pretty sweet just to wake up here, turn the lights on, flick the lights on, always have a creative play space. Anytime my friends, family come over, we got a studio space to goof around and play around in. So it's been amazing. But I highly encourage it if you've been thinking about starting a business,
Hmm.
regardless of what it is, jump in, and it's a fun thing to do, and it's nice to have some control over things, and you also kind of always have a pet project. Like there's always something you can be tinkering with or tweaking, whether it's marketing or the website or just the space itself here. It's been awesome, so I love it. Start a business and you need help with that, then hit me up too, or something like this. I should also mention, sorry to cut you off, Brandon, but I should mention that we are expanding, and we're looking potentially for more partners to come on as session directors or producers of other live events or virtual events. And other people who have decent studio spaces can be a partner with us as well too, where you use your space in whatever city you're in, and we have our space, and we can kind of connect and collab and create a network of studio spaces, sort of by actors and for actors, or by
Hmm.
performers for performers.